It's still on 0%, and this is like 3 hours this morning being out here, after being out here 8 hours yesterday.
This is crazy. It's a disaster. Seriously.
We got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots. Last year, I had to do in the winter. I never faced this last year, but this year it's hard. I think it's a matter of time.
But it's something you think they have to work on.
Oh, they definitely got to work on it. Because I'm out of this Tesla after today. I'm not going to ride it again.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing fine wherever you are watching me from, and welcome to BTM News Kenya. And you have just heard what we've been saying, and through the videos that I just played, and you can see it's a disaster. And these are owners, they're Tesla owners who are really complaining that they cannot charge their cars because their vehicles, because of high temperature, because of cold weather season. The temperature is high, and therefore you can see the charging car station have turned out to be a graveyard for electrical vehicles. And this is one of the problems that Elon Musk and his people never told the people, simply because they knew the problem. And the reason why they didn't tell you, because this is an industry where a lot of money has been put into. A lot of money was invested in this project that you can see now it's becoming a problem to the people. And this is one of the problem people who are Tesla owners owning electrical vehicles were never told. You see, and the reason being is because propaganda from Western media seriously brainwashed people that electrical vehicles owner are the future, which to me, I'll say, no, I'd rather use a gas car than an electrical. I'd rather own a gas car than an electrical vehicle. And most people are not aware, but you can see now they are aware of it. They know that during high temperature, the car cannot charge, which means it's like you cannot operate your car. And this car comes at a very expensive price. They are so expensive. I won't lie to you, these electrical vehicles are so expensive. But you can now see during high temperature, you cannot ride your vehicle. If this information people, or if they were told earlier enough, I don't think most of them could be owning electrical vehicle. That's the truth. But because it was hidden from them, then they're now suffering for their consequences. That's how I'll say. And me here today, I just want to tell you that, my friend, don't even bother to go and buy those cars, those vehicles, those electrical vehicles. Because after watching this video, after hearing what I'll tell you about these vehicles, then you won't even be bothered to go and buy them. And mark you, if you're owning a Tesla car, or the owners of Tesla car, if they're facing such kind of a problem, the only way they can get help is by calling or reporting to Tesla, because there is no mechanic who can solve this problem. And that's where the problem is. So imagine if you're an African who has imported this vehicle and you're facing such kind of problem, which is just one of the problems. I believe there's a lot of problem concerning this electrical vehicle. Then you won't be solved. You won't be helped. You know, these are Americans who are just here around, of course, who the company is just in their country. But if you're an African man or a woman, how will you be helped? You just have to abandon it like that, because the only will be helped because no mechanic has skills to solve this problem. Even an electronic person, someone who deals with electric, cannot be able to help you solve this electrical vehicle. See, and the reason why I'll discourage people from not going to get this car first, especially if you're an African who is dreaming of owning an electrical vehicle. First of all, you can see people complaining, saying that you can charge this vehicle even twice a day. You can charge it twice a day, which means it takes 2 hours to charge and then loses faster, which means you can charge it even twice a day. Imagine when you're going to a charging station to charge this electrical vehicle, you'll take 2 hours compared to going to charge a gas car in a petrol station, which will take it won't even take more than 5 minutes and it'll be done. But you can use it almost, you can use the fuel an entire day. Maybe you'll fuel it the next day, depending on how much you fuel it. If you fill a full tank, then maybe after 3 days. But here, these electrical cars, first, You charge it for 2 hours. Imagine you're just in a petrol station 2 hours charging station, and after that again the charger or the energy doesn't last fast, which means you come back again, charge it for another 2 hours, which means you can see it's expensive, time consuming. See, and also its battery drains very fast compared to these other ones, because it doesn't, this is a car that it has been designed in a way that it doesn't use an engine, it uses a battery car. So you can see how it's being consumed. It's so, and second of it is importation. It's expensive, especially if you are importing it outside the country compared to this other gas station, this gas car. It's so expensive to import it, because there are vehicles that are not being made here in Africa. They are made outside Africa. And also, as I said, charging is super expensive. And also, the service. To service this an electric car can cost you 320 USD, which is equivalent to 50,640 Kenya shillings. Just imagine, you're just servicing it. And of course, not everyone got skills. So imagine if you're importing this car here in Africa, you can look at our mechanic. I don't think that they have the skills to deal with this the electrical vehicle. So that's why I think it's expensive, because if there is anyone who is skilled in servicing this car, maybe one or two, that's why I think it's more expensive. And also, electric cars are not reliable, because it is super low compared to gas car. When the battery is filled, I'm telling you, when the battery is filled, you just buy another car, because the car, as I say, doesn't have an engine. And also, you cannot compare electric engine to a diesel or petrol engine. You know, if you are having an electrical car, there are some places, let me say, for example, a mountain. You cannot climb a mountain using an electrical car, because first of all, it doesn't have an engine, it's not powerful. But if you have this diesel car, therefore, you can be able to climb an engine, because the engine is so powerful. You see? So, to me, if you ask me, electric cars are not the future. You just saw how the Wazungus are really suffering to keep up these vehicles. Can just see how Tesla owners are really suffering, are really, going through a lot. You're telling me they are the future. They are not the future. They are not the future. This is someone who is using money to get a lot of money from people. Because to own an electrical car, first, as I said, is super expensive. First, it consumes your time, and not everyone can. And also, there are people who have charging stations in their home, but not everyone can afford that. So, anytime you hear this thing being imposed by African leaders that they want to bring electric cars here in Africa, I'm telling you, just don't buy into it. I'm telling you, don't buy into it, because I know they'll be used one day. African leaders, these electrical vehicles, I know they're even there in Africa already. It will be imposed to people. The government will impose it to people to go and get it. I know it will happen. 5 years to come, I know some are already here. I believe we still have, there are some electric cars here. So, to me, electrical vehicles is not the future. Say no to electrical vehicles.